Hello, good morning. Welcome to Gaming Insight Daily for Wednesday, April 9th, 2025. What was supposed to be pre-order day for the Nintendo Switch 2, but that's not the case for anybody now. We'll get into that in a minute. I'm Steve Saylor. This is your daily show of gaming news, accessibility news, or updates about my life. I have coffee in my Matrix mug today. I bought this during the pandemic because I found it through a streamer friend of mine, and they had these Matrix code metal mugs from Corksicle, and I immediately bought one. One of my favorite coffee mugs. I'm telling you, I have had the roughest morning to start before I even sat down to have a cup of coffee, folks. I woke up. I have all of my lights in my apartment, except for my bathroom light currently, is all connected through smart home. They're all smart lights. And I have a routine that basically a shortcut that I hit on my phone every time I want to start the day. I basically just tap a button and it will turn on all the lights and all with all the different colors, including in my office, everything, so I don't have to physically turn on the lights for each one. And for some reason this morning, everything except for 3 lights decided to just not respond. Even these lights that I use for recording would not turn on. I couldn't even restart recording. I couldn't even just sort of put it off to the side and just would not worry about it. I couldn't even record because the lights wouldn't even work. Couldn't understand what was going on. I don't like to swear much, but I was swearing up a storm. Thank goodness it was all in my head and I live by myself, so I don't talk to myself like that. But anyway, so I was like racking my brain. I'm like, what is going on? I've been having problems with my Apple HomePod because I have those as well. I've been having issues with those for over a month now. Actually, I've always had issues with probably about a year now. But it's now gone to a point where it's just getting more frustrating every single day to use it. And I thought, okay, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to remove the HomePods from the network and then re-add it back in. And I did it, and it took me. It took basically about 15-20 minutes to do. And then I was like, okay, great, awesome. Go to try the different lights. Nothing. Couldn't get anything to respond. And I was like, what is going on? I thought maybe it was because the Apple TV was taking over as the home hub instead of the HomePods. And I was like, so I manually set that. Still nothing. Even the lights, and these lights still again would work. And then it dawned on me, oh no, what is it with the router? So I reset the router. Nothing. Didn't have anything. And then the thought came to my head. I don't know why, how, or what it was that prompted me to be able to think this way. And then because I remembered, oh yeah, some of the lights run on 2.4 gigahertz frequency. So if you don't know, some smart home devices are all run on 2.4 gigahertz frequency for Wi-Fi instead of what everyone else is using, basically, which is 5.0. I remembered, oh yeah, I wonder if maybe I didn't have that or something happened within the router to be able to turn that off. So I go in to my router settings. And I look and I'm like, oh, there's nothing labeled there for 2.4. I'm like, wait, what is, I don't remember. I remember having something set up before, but I couldn't remember where it was. So I did a quick Google search, found a step-by-step process, found out, you know what was the culprit? It was because there was one checkbox that Bell, because that's the company that I have my internet with, decided to have a setting that was turned on the router saying, let Bell optimize your network for you. And it turned off the 2.4 gigahertz frequency. I'm like, that's why none of my lights worked. So I had to go in, and thankfully they still have this option. You can go in and basically create you can create 2 networks, and I did so. And I basically, and then as soon as I did it, and I kept the name for the 2.4 gigahertz frequency that everything else was using, everything magically just worked. You know how long I spent doing that? I've been up. It's now currently 9:37 this morning. I've been up since 7 a.m. trying to be able to figure this out. I had a shower in between, and a bowl of cereal, but as I was trying to figure out what the heck was going on, it took me 2.5 hours to be able to figure this out. I hate and love smart tech at the same time. Smart tech, the reason why I bring this all up, I know this is stupid, like I know you want to be able for me to get into the news, but I need to be able to address this because smart home tech is what helps me in my own apartment for my own disability. I have so many lights in my apartment because that is what helps me to be able to at least see through the blurriness of my vision enough that I could be able to make out a lot more details because of the of everything is lit. If it was darker or I had to turn off lights in my apartment, everything becomes more blurry because I can't see because the lights are not bright enough for me to be able to see. That's why I have, like, if you count the amount of lights that are in this office, in this room alone, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 9, 10. I have 10 lights just in this room alone, not including the one that is actually built into the room. That's the overhead light. That's just in this room. There are less in the other rooms because I don't need as many lights in the other rooms, but I have lights on everywhere. It helps me to see. And when I can't get those to work, it is so frustrating to be able to walk around. I'm bumping into things. I can't see where I'm going. And I love smart home tech for that very reason, where I don't have to physically try to find the switch or the reset button or whatever all the time in order to be able to turn the lights on or off. I can basically just use a command to say, hey, turn on the lights, or I can use my phone to be able to do that as well. And when it's not working, it is so debilitating. It is so disabling because it is disabling me from being able to live my own life. I'm fine now. But man, oh man, what a morning. Let's jump into the news because, as I mentioned at the top of the show, I know this is a very long rant. I'm so sorry. That's why I have time codes for these, so you can be able to jump ahead. You don't have to listen to these kind of personal whatever. But anyway, so as I mentioned at the top of the show, actually, wait, I didn't even I was going to get to this. Never mind. I forgot this was going to be the start of the show. So yes, Nintendo Switch 2 pre-orders have been delayed in Canada to align with the US, according to Jordan Miller over at VGC. In a statement, Nintendo said it intends to align Canadian pre-orders of the new system with US pre-orders, which were pushed back last week. Pre-orders for Nintendo Switch 2 in Canada will not start on April 9th, 2025 to align with the timing of pre-orders to be determined in the US. Nintendo will provide updated information at a later date. The launch date of June 5th, 2025 is unchanged. Last week, despite announcing a price for the system and when the pre-orders will go live, Nintendo later walked back to its US plans for pre-ordering the new console. So yeah. This was disappointing because I was ready to be able to last night at midnight, basically, because in Canada there's a few retailers that actually sell and do pre-orders for the Switch 2. GameStop, Best Buy, and Walmart Canada. And Walmart Canada was actually doing a special thing where instead of pre-orders going live at noon, which was going to be today, they decided they're going to go 12 hours earlier and launch at midnight. So you can be able to pre-order at midnight. So I was ready to go as of yesterday, but shortly after the recording of this show yesterday, that's when the announcement came down the line that, or it wasn't even an announcement. It was sort of like it just trickled down. It was never an official thing until much later in the day. But there was there was barely not a lot of communication as far as what I've been able to find out. But pre-orders were officially canceled for today within Canada, which is weird because the UK has already had theirs. New Zealand has also already had theirs. Japan has already had theirs. I may be wrong about Japan, but I know New Zealand and the UK for sure. The UK has already been had pre-orders and sold out of the pre-orders. But now Canada has to align with the US for pre-orders, which, I mean, I get to a certain degree because we are in North America, and yes, even though there is a border between us, having to be able to ship the allotment was more likely happening because there was a story or a rumor that essentially that there was already an allotment of Switch 2s already in the United States, and because I believe that not some of the supply for Canada comes through to from the States. Essentially, that more than likely, probably Canada just hasn't been able to have any or get any, so they didn't know what allotment how many they were going to get also because of the tariffs, because of how much that shipping cost was going to cost. This is my guess, by the way. This is not necessarily like from any inside information or anything like that. So yeah, it's unfortunate that yes, we have to align with the states, because I was hoping that essentially, not necessarily that I was hoping that Canada could have one up on the US. I don't care about that, but it is once again, because of everything that's happening within Canada and the US right now, it is disappointing that once again, basically what is happening in the US is affecting Canada. It always has to a certain degree, but we've always had a working relationship that it wasn't really that bad. Like, so with the exchange rate of whenever the price of the Switch 2 was going to be $349, $399 in the States, and then we knew that the exchange rate was going to be higher, it was so shocking to kind of see $629 and $699 be the price for the exchange rate because of the US Canadian dollar difference. And then tariffs and all that stuff too. So it's disappointing, essentially, that we have to kind of, our pre-orders are also affected because of what's happening in the States. And I don't know. It just it sucks. I was hoping to be able to. I was actually looking forward to basically to today, or actually I was looking forward to on the show today to be like, hey, last night I got a Switch 2, but I don't, because I can't, and I don't know when, because we have to now wait for the US to announce their date, which hopefully that means that our date is going to be the same date. Like, it's annoying, and I get it. And it wasn't like I was sort of like not empathetic to US. If you are watching this and you are an American, I definitely empathize. I understand all what's going on, and I was never. Let's say this: I was never going to make fun of the US for not having a pre-order, and Canada did. Like even up until like I was just. It was just sad. It was just sad. And now that basically Canada is also in the same boat. So it's sad for both of us, let's just say. And I just hope everything gets fixed soon, so that we can be able to enjoy our Nintendo, because a new Nintendo is great. I want the new Switch too. So, and then there was also breaking news as of this morning, literally just before I hit record, news broke from the Xbox Wire. The Xbox Game Showcase, followed by the Outer Worlds 2 Direct, airs on June 8th, Sunday, June 8th. Make some space on your... Oh, this is written by Joe Screbbles over at Xbox Wire. He's the editor-in-chief over there. Make some space on your calendar. The Xbox Game Showcase 2025 will be live streamed on Sunday, June 8th, starting at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. UK time. Following in the footsteps of the 2023 Starfield Direct and 2024 Call of Duty Black Ops 6 Direct, this year, we will again have a double feature with the Xbox Game Showcase immediately followed by the Outer Worlds 2 Direct. It all begins with our annual Xbox Game Showcase, bringing you a look at upcoming titles from across our first-party studios, in addition to incredible new titles from our third-party partners across the globe. This year, the show will be digital only. Our live stream will bring you everything you'll need to know about what's next for Xbox, no matter where in the world you're watching. It's interesting they're saying that the show will be digital only. My guess is that this is sort of they're probably not going to basically have a public fan fest like they have in the past for previous showcases. Not last year was the one that was kind of done at Summer Game Fest, and it was for invite only, as far as I understand. My guess is that they're still probably going to do that for like press and media and content creators and stuff like that. But it'll more likely be there probably will be a sort of special event for that. But but this will be basically a streaming event, basically across the globe for everyone. So you don't. So basically, yeah. No, unfortunately, if you're hoping for Xbox Fan Fest happening in June in your area, that looks like it's not to be the case. Immediately following the showcase, the Outer Worlds 2 Direct will bring you inside the walls of Obsidian Entertainment, revealing new gameplay details and developer insights straight from the people making the sequel to the award-winning first-person sci-fi RPG. You'll be able to enjoy our June 8th double feature through a variety of outlets in over 40 languages, as well as American Sign Language, British Sign Language, and English audio descriptions. Yeah. These include, but will not be limited to, all the Xbox channels. It'll be at 1 p.m. Eastern, which is where I will be. The double feature broadcast also kicks off a week's worth of coverage here on Xbox Wire. Wow, I had a hiccup there. The official Xbox podcast and the Xbox YouTube channel featuring updates, exclusive extra details, and deep dives on so many games, or many of the games you'll see in the show. Love that. I'm very curious to see what will be in the Xbox Game Showcase. Last year's showcase was probably the best showcase, not only just from Xbox in a long time, but just in general in a long time. It was filled with a lot of surprises, a lot of great announcements, and it was solid across the board. I like watching it last year in LA, in front of on a huge screen in front of a large crowd. It was intoxicating. Like it just everything was just. I was so excited. I was front row with my friend Nega Oryx, and we were just sitting front row center, and both her and I were just like freaking out. It was just a great time just to have just to enjoy what Xbox was announcing. So as far as what I think that they will announce, I don't know what they could announce. I mean, here's the thing: we know what the first half of the year is going to be. We're already in that. We've had obviously Avowed. We've had 33 Immortals. We have South of Midnight that just came out. We're going to have Doom the Dark Ages in May. And so so far we've had a pretty solid release schedule from Xbox. So we don't really know a lot about sort of the end of the year plans or the latter half of 2025 plans for Xbox. So this will be that. I'm imagining that will be any announcements that'll be happening for the latter half of 2025 will be happening in this showcase. And I guess also as well in regards to the Outer Worlds 2, because more likely will be Outer Worlds 2 will be probably released this year. I mean, it's interesting that they chose that as sort of the special showcase. Or the direct for this year, because I'm like I would have thought they probably would have had maybe a different game. I was thinking maybe Gears probably might have been the sort of the thing to talk about, but I mean Outer Worlds 2 basically is on the horizon, so makes total sense. I do really need to be able to go back and replay Outer Worlds, because I've been meaning to go back and finish that game. I hadn't had a chance to, so I think I should probably do that after kind of just finishing up Avowed. I was like, yeah, I could go for another Obsidian RPG, and I think I might just go back. And I like the sci-fi setting, so I think I might just do that. So stay tuned for that. I may actually play it on stream. We'll see. But yeah, awesome. What do you think? What would you like to be able to see Xbox announce, or Xbox kind of a showcase in their June showcase? Let me know in the comments down below. Now, also jumping back into the tariff things of things, I found this story kind of interesting. Jordan Miller over at VGC says Razer is pausing sales in the U.S. as tariff fears grow. Razer has paused all sales for several of its products as fears around tariffs shake the tech industry. As the impact of U.S. President Donald Trump's trade war is felt across the technology space, Razer is the latest company to make a move, seemingly in response to the economic uncertainty. While tariffs haven't officially been cited as the reason, several Razer products have suddenly been made unavailable for pre-order. In a statement to The Verge, Razer's public relations manager, Andy Johnston said, we do not have a comment at this stage regarding tariffs. The Blade 16 laptop and several other laptops that were recently available for pre-order have been removed. At the time of writing, direct links to those pages, which were previously available, now lead to an error message. A laptop stand, which was supposed to be available now in the U.S., is missing from the firm's website, despite being available in other markets. Production of Razer's products is largely centralized in nations that have been severely affected by the tariffs, resulting in the products being far more expensive to bring into the U.S. While Razer is the latest tech brand to be affected by the economic uncertainty, the largest impact has been publicly felt by Nintendo, which has seemingly been blindsided by Trump's tariffs. This is, again, what kind of going back to what we were talking about with Nintendo. This is actually interesting. This kind of goes beyond a little bit, not necessarily. It is similar, because at first I thought, oh, they're just pausing all sales. No, so far it just seems to be just the pre-order, anything that's coming up, anything that's been on pre-order, which makes sense, because if they can't, if Razer doesn't know how many units to be able to, that they're going to get within the U.S. Because of just the tariffs that essentially take place right away. We think that, oh no, the tariffs are taking place like on these dates that the U.S. government have kind of labeled out or have announced. You got to remember, that goes into effect right away. So I would probably guess that Razer was ready to be able to start shipping laptops, and then all of a sudden, basically now added a whole new cost to that, and they're now having to try to be able to find a way to be able to find the money from that. And instead of, because they probably already had pre-orders already and at a certain price, and now they're gonna have to decide, okay, are they gonna have to increase the price for these pre-orders, or are they gonna have to eat that cost? Like, now companies are having to be able to make these harder decisions, and these aren't cheap prices, by the way. This isn't like shipping a package across country or into, even from Canada to the US or vice versa. Like, yes, that can be expensive, but yeah, remember, it's like when you're shipping in bulk, when you're having to be able to acquire shipping containers or cargo for cargo planes and stuff like that, that cost adds up. Like, you can't just sort of it's not just a couple laptops here and there. It's thousands, if not thousands, of laptops that have to be sent to markets across the US. And when you are basically when you're a company and have to be able to spend that, and then having to be able to add on a 20, 30, 40, 50%, or up to, for China, 100% extra on top of that, that cost has to come somewhere, and it ain't coming from the company that's sending it. So it's unfortunate that, yeah, this is another blow to the tech and gaming industry, or consumer tech and gaming industry. We're going to see these things happen. We're going to see, I would probably imagine that if this isn't sort of changed by, say, even September, like Apple iPhones, Apple may not do an iPhone announcement because they just don't know what to be able to do with it. Or they may not have, or they may announce an iPhone and you may see the prices of iPhones go up. Instead of like $2,000 for or whatever, let's even say just the cheapest phone being like $999, we're probably looking at about a $1,500 base phone. Like, that's how much these things are going to cost, and it's going to be like that for a while until this sort of trade war, this global trade war kind of ends. And so it's unfortunate. We're going to see more stories like this over the next couple of months of just companies having to be able to hold off on pre-orders or hold off on sales altogether. So. Yeah, I expect more of this down the road. And then how much time do I got? I got time for one more. This is actually kind of fun. Let's end on a good note. So, the BAFTA Game Awards was last night, or yesterday, technically. I'm reading this off of Jordan Miller from VGC, but Astrobot wins Best Game at the BAFTA Games Awards. Now, this is for 2024 games. Obviously, this being April, this is the time when they do the BAFTA Awards for games. But we'll just kind of go into the winners here. Astrobot also led the pack in winners overall, taking home 5 awards. Still Wakes the Deep took home 3 awards, including wins in both performance categories. Hosted by comedian Phil Wang, the show celebrated the last year in video games. Following its best game win in 2023, Vampire Survivors won Evolving Game. Senua Saga Hellblade 2 won the Technical Achievement Prize, with Metaphor ReFantazio taking home the award for narrative. Tales of Kenzera Zao, the debut game from Abukar Salim's Surgeon Studio. Salim, I butchered that name, won the BAFTA for Game Beyond Entertainment. BAFTA's eligibility window this year runs from November 2025, 2023 to November 15th, 2024. With the exception of those in Evolving Game. Remakes are only eligible in craft categories, and DLC is eligible in Evolving Game and certain craft categories. Here's basically all the winners. So Animation, Astrobot. Artistic Achievement, Neva. Audio Achievement, Astrobot. Best Game, Astrobot. Debut Game, Balatro, of course. Evolving Game, Vampire Survivors. Family, Astrobot. Game Beyond Entertainment, Tales of Kenzera Zao, like I mentioned. Game Design, Astrobot. Multiplayer, Helldivers 2, good for them. Music, Helldivers 2, love that. Great soundtrack. Narrative, Metaphor ReFantazio. New intellectual property, Still Wakes the Deep. Performer in a leading role, Alec Newman as Cameron Kaz McClary in Still Wakes the Deep. So, I think I could be able to talk about this now. I was actually, even though I don't think they've announced the jury list, but just keep this between us, all right? Okay. I actually was on the BAFTA jury for this category this year. I was asked to be a part of the jury for this particular category. There was no accessibility reasoning. It was just the head of the BAFTA jury, I guess, committee had reached out and asked if I wanted to be able to take part, and they specifically said the performer in a leading role category. And so for several months, I basically was playing games and basically trying to be able to decide who was the sort of the best performer in that category. And I won't go into the process of how it all worked, how the jury kind of got down to this decision. I can't even remember actually even what I voted for. It's been a while since I've did this, so I can't even remember who I actually did vote for. But if you have not played Still Wakes the Deep, Alec Newman did a great job as Kaz. I do remember playing that. If you remember actually me playing that on Twitch. No, you didn't. Yes, no, I did. I played the entire game on Twitch on the Saturday one time. I think I actually saved the... Oh yeah, I did save the VOD for that. I should put that up actually at some point on my YouTube channel. That'll happen, or not this YouTube channel, but Steve Saylor Plays. But yeah, so thanks. Yeah, thanks to BAFTAs for allowing me to be a part of it. I couldn't go to the award ceremony. This is way over in the UK, and that's way too expensive for me to go to the UK right now. So yeah, basically the other nominees in this category were Hamali Gonzalez, who was K-Vest in Star Wars Outlaws. Isabella Inchbald, I know I butchered her name. As Indica in the game Indica. Luke Roberts as James Sunderland in Silent Hill 2. Melina Jurgens as Senua in Senua Saga Hellblade 2. And Yolan Noel as Tony Marshall in Call of Duty Black Ops 6. So, yay. Congrats, Alex, for winning for Still Wakes the Deep. And then performer in a supporting role was Karen Dunlap, who plays Finley in Still Wakes the Deep. That's awesome. Technical achievement, Senua Saga Hellblade 2. And that's it for the awards. So congrats to all the winners for the BAFTAs. Once again, congrats to Balatro. Not Sir Balatro. That's just in my head. Astrobot for winning so many of the awards. Well deserved for sure. All right, that is going to be it for this week's episode of, or not this week's episode, today's episode of Gaming Insight Daily. I wish I could I could say that I have a Switch too, but nope. Gotta wait. So it's fine. If you have any comments or questions about what I talked about today, please leave in the comments down below. Even though I don't necessarily respond directly, I do read them all. So thank you so very much for your insightful comments. I really do appreciate it. That does mean the world to me that you are engaged in this show, and that means a lot. So thank you so very much. Take care. Have yourself a good day, and hopefully my lights will still work by the end of today. And as always, I remain obedience to yours. See y'all tomorrow. Bye-bye.